Hey Charles, thanks so much for the pictures. I'll try and give you guys some direction, and I'll be honest, I'm more of a visual guy, so when I actually see the trees planted and stuff, it helps me determine what's gonna look best with the lights, because you never know what you're gonna get just from a drawing. But I will do my best to give you some ideas that hopefully you can use, and then as the project progresses and stuff, maybe you can send me some pictures of what's actually planting, and we can specify some other areas you want to light. But the way I would look at this is, I mean, it looks like you've got some larger trees that you've got planted, and I would make that my focus point for a lot of up and accent lights. So a light like this that is going to sit at the base of these trees and highlight the trunk as well as the foliage, and I would definitely focus on all these larger ones that you have in the back here, because from the looks of things, I mean, you're going to be looking out this way, out towards this direction a bunch, whether you're on the putting green or it looks like that's the house, or from the cabana. So I think you're going to want that lit up. As for path lights and stuff, there's some areas I think that you could use them. I don't know so much that you need them in here. It looks like this is going to be all mulched area, so it wouldn't hurt. I mean, if you want to create that effect, you could. I think it's going to look better if you just highlight and accent the bigger trees, and then maybe along the lawn in these beds is where you kind of slap in a few path lights. But again, I wouldn't put a whole ton, and maybe even around the garden bed if that's something you want to do. But that would be my focus, is the accent lights here. And then as we move around the property, I'm not sure, I think this is, if this is like a walkway or patio area, this is an area where you might want to throw some path lights. You know, maybe you throw 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 path lights in here just to help illuminate this area, as well as a little bit of the putting green. And I love having a few path lights around the putting green. Again, with these path lights, general rule of thumb is 10 to 15 feet apart. You can space them. The darker it is, the more you can space them. So you might want to outline the putting green with a few of those, so you can putt at night and it'll splash a little bit of light onto the lawn as well. And then definitely where I was looking, where you have the walkway here, I think it would be a good idea to kind of stagger some, you know, path lights between this side of the putting green and over here and over here, and again over here. But then again, focusing some up lights and some accent lights. So these are the up lights I'm talking about, and these are the path lights I'm talking about, but kind of doing some path lighting along this walkway, and then accenting these bigger trees again, because that's going to give you the best bang for your buck. You're going to be able to put those at the base. You're going to get some reflection from that foliage down into the shrub area. So anything that's a little bit larger, I would try and get an accent light on for sure. Same thing here. I mean, you've probably got a few trees that are a little bit larger. Those are ones that I would focus on an accent light with. One, you know, general rule of thumb is anywhere where you are going to be doing a pathway or anything like this, which you guys are probably have this in place already because it looks like you have irrigation, but just make sure to put some kind of sleeve underneath so that you can get wire easily across to either side. Anywhere where you've got any kind of hardscape stuff, I would definitely do that. And then yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where I would focus. Again, it looks like you have a bit of a walkway area here where you might want to focus some path lights as well. But like I said, for me, it really helps to see the visual and what's there. But this should give you some pretty good ideas for path lighting areas you can focus on. And just, you know, just bear in mind that with whatever kit or whatever lights you're going to buy, just leave a lot of extra room, because as a lot of these plants and trees and shrubs grow, you're probably going to want to add more lights down the road. So if you have a large enough transformer, then you can easily add those on without having to, you know, make massive changes to the landscape again. So I hope that helps a little bit. Again, my big focus would be on some of the larger trees, the walkways, and the putting green with some path lights. 12 to 15 foot spacing is typically good enough, and that should do a pretty good job of lighting up your garden here, as well as the rest of the landscape. If you have any questions, just email me back. Feel free to go on the website, shop around. You can also, if it helps, so you can actually see what it's going to look like once you get everything planted, You can go to the Try It Before You Buy It light. Basically, we just give you a light, an uplight that's discounted that you can hook up to some 9-volt. You just take the two terminal wires, hook them up to a 9-volt battery, and you can actually go shine it on some different areas to see what it looks like. If you're not sure what you want yet for lighting, I would recommend at least getting some wire in the ground in a bunch of places so that you can add on down the road. So as you're doing that landscape, I would get the landscaper to bury some wire or do it yourself. But before they make everything pretty, get that wire in the ground and just leave it out at a few places that you can connect onto, and then you can always add the lighting after all the plants are in without causing too much disruption. So thanks again, Charles, and hopefully this helps.
Thanks again for watching, guys, as we show you how to easily install low voltage landscape lighting. So there's various different lights you can look at. The most popular is easily the uplight, accent light, or bullet light, often used to highlight different trees and features in your yard. Another very popular light is a wash light, often used to highlight the fronts of homes and beautiful stonework. Path and garden lighting is also very popular to use to light walkways and garden areas and plant material down below, as well as hardscape lighting, which is used in different kinds of hardscapes as well as on fences and decks, and can also create some cool effects. And a great way to see what looks good is just to take a flashlight or any kind of light around at night, shine it on a few of those features, and really see what looks good and where you're going to position those lights. I strongly recommend looking at LED energy efficient bulbs for all of your landscape lighting. It saves on power and it lasts a long time. You see they only use 40 watts, 260 lumens, is very bright, and they still have that warm white look that you would find in an incandescent fixture. And if you have an existing landscape lighting system that is incandescent, it's very easy to retrofit with LED bulbs, again, just to save power and not have to be changing bulbs all the time. What we often recommend is go and find really good quality outdoor rated LED bulbs, and then go find really good incandescent fixtures and just marry the two together and retrofit your incandescent fixtures with really good quality LED bulbs, and it'll help bring the cost down rather than going and buying a fully integrated LED fixture, which looks good and lasts a long time, but they do cost a lot more than doing this and just finding a really good fixture and retrofitting it with a really good bulb. So once you know where you're going to put your lights and you have your lights picked out, the next step is to start placing your lights. So we've determined where they're going to go. Start by digging just a small hole and just preliminarily placing your lights. I recommend using a rubber mallet so that you can really pound those ground stakes in and give them some good stability. Screw your light in afterwards so you can really get it in there. Make sure everything's level, and then from there you start laying out your wire once you got all your lights in place, and be sure to leave extra wire at every fixture just to give yourself some wiggle room. Connecting the lights is quite simple. When you make your splice in your wire, you'll have a wire going in and a wire going out for each connection, as well as your fixture wire, and at every light you're going to have 2 of those connections. I recommend a good waterproof connection, either a gel-filled snap lock connector or these gel-filled DBR-Y connectors that come in 2 parts, that you have a moret that screws on and keeps the wires tight, and then the wire fills into a gel-filled tube that keeps the water out. So just be sure to make sure you're getting good waterproof connections that keep the wires free of the elements as well as keep them from pulling apart. The next step is selecting your transformer. It's very easy to do. If you look on any bulb that you purchase, it should give you the wattage, but if you have a 4.5 watt bulb and you have 10 of those, that's going to give you 45 watts, which means you want to select a transformer that's just slightly bigger than that. And I recommend trying to find a transformer that has a photocell as well as a timer built into it for easy use. Very easy to wire in your transformer. Depending on the transformer you have, it's generally going to have a common tap and a 12-volt tap. You just put one wire into each tap, screw them down tight, mount your transformer close to your GFCI receptacle so that you can get power, plug it in, turn it on, and go and make sure all your lights work before you start burying any wire. So once you've checked all your lights and everything works, you can start burying them. One thing I would recommend is looking at the Weon outdoor Wi-Fi switch. Is a great tool if you want to make your landscape lighting system totally smart and Wi-Fi operated. To bury the wires, very easy with a flat-ended shovel, creating a trench that's 6 to 8 inches deep, spreading the turf open and pushing that wire down and stomping it down within no time at all. It looks like you haven't even been there. And in the mulch, it's just a matter of pulling it back and creating a path to lay down that wire, stapling it down and burying everything over that. So hopefully that helped. And if you have any questions, by all means, you can always reach out to us and follow us on Facebook and YouTube.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching that video. I hope you guys got some great ideas for your own do-it-yourself landscape lighting projects. If you want your own free consultation video, like I said before, email me your pictures at cal@lightingdoctor.ca or go and visit us at lightingdoctor.ca, and be sure to check out our Try It Before You Buy It light, again, where you get one premium grade fixture and a King Innovation Instalight battery operated demo kit that you can go and test those lights out on your property before you make any big purchases. So I hope to see you guys again soon, and again, go get your free consultations by emailing your pictures or visit us at lightingdoctor.ca. Thanks so much for watching.